With the amount of manga out, it's really hard to make anime with every single one of them. But these series are some series that I think need animes in the future, or just need them in general, because I think the manga is just phenomenal enough to carry an anime. But that's the major problem with manga nowadays. There's just so many that it's really hard to make anime with all of them. So that's what I want to talk about today. These are 5 series I think need anime. Now, before I get started, leave a comment down below about some manga that you wish had anime or think should get anime in the near future, because there's so many manga out there that don't have animes that really should. But let's just get straight into this video. The first series I want to talk about, it kind of makes sense why there isn't an anime yet. There isn't enough, and chapters do come out pretty slow, so usually anime want to have enough for maybe a season 2, or they're like halfway through season 2 in terms of content for the manga. And this doesn't even have that much content to even have a season 1 fully, unless it does a 12 episode season 1, and that's Goku Rakugai. I definitely see this getting an anime in the future. Just volumes and chapters release super slow, so it kind of makes sense why it doesn't have one yet. But basically, if you know nothing about Goku Rakugai, we follow these 2 characters, Alma and Mrs. Tao. In a world full of people and beastmen and all sorts of beings, really, these 2 run a problem-solving business. And in that business, they prioritize basically Manga cases. They really only get cases with these demons that they call Manga. And so these 2 have to kill these Manga, but the only thing is, Alma's half Manga, so Mrs. Tao has to keep him in check so he doesn't go past his limit and become one himself. So it's a kind of generic shonen plot, but a very interesting concept and characters that they bring along with it. And I actually really do enjoy the series. The art is phenomenal. I actually love the art in this series. Wow, I instantly went to a crazy double-page spread. I think the art really helps it a lot, makes it kind of its own thing, and I think that's an amazing thing for it. I think it does a really good job trying to differentiate itself with a very unique art style and very unique characters. And also, I do really like the villain group that they introduced later on in terms of, I think it's in volume 3 or volume 2 late. I think it's very interesting. I think I would love to read more. Of course, there is a huge gap in release between volume 3 and volume 4. Volume 3 released a couple months ago, and volume 4 is releasing in September. If that shows why this hasn't gotten an anime yet. We're basically almost caught up, I believe. I think we're only like 2 volumes behind. I think there's only 5 in Japan. So, I mean, it doesn't have that much content, and it takes a really long time. I think this came out in 2022. I'll leave the date here. I'm probably wrong. But having 5 volumes out in 3 years is kind of crazy. It's usually about 4 a year, 3 to 4 a year, depending on series. So having 5 in 3 years is very slow. I'm just going to say that. And that's why it hasn't gotten an anime. It just doesn't have content enough for it. But when it does, it's going to blow up. This is going to be a very big series, and I can already tell. So yeah, definitely get on Goku Rakugai too. I think you should definitely read this. Now this next series, I can easily see getting an anime in the near future, as it does have enough content, and I feel like it is popular enough. It's just more the art style that can kind of make it hard to animate, and that's going to be Full Night. This series, I feel like, can easily get an anime, but it's just the studio has to be right. I feel like a lot of studios don't want to really test the waters with a series like this, purely because of the art that's in it. It's very phenomenal, but also it's very unique and brings a lot of things that not many animation studios can really bring to life well. So I think that's probably the reason why this hasn't gotten an anime yet. But if you don't know anything about Full Night, basically, we follow this guy, Kamiya, and Kamiya is in a world without the sun. The sun's gone now. So basically, to grow plants and to keep living, when people are about to die, they get a seed planted in them and a lot of money, so that they will die in 2 years, but that plant will grow through their nutrients and become an actual full-grown plant in 2 years. But that person is dead at the end of the 2 years. And basically, Kamiya is down on his luck. He needs money, he has nothing, he has an abusive mother, and he just needs to get away. So, he drinks a bunch of arsenic and goes to the doctor to get this surgery. So he only has 2 years to live after this is done. But he's given a lot of money, but he finds out he has a special ability. He can hear the other plants and hear them talk to him about their past lives and the humans they were. So he helps the people learn more about what this really does to humans and the psychology behind it. And I think that is a very interesting kind of concept to bring in. It's a very, very unique concept that I don't think anyone can really duplicate. I think that that's just something that's very one-off. But also, here's what I mean, but when I was talking about earlier about, like, it's hard to bring this to life. This is a series that I feel like art-wise, it'll be very hard. Just because of how unique the art is and the kind of plants they put into it, kind of trying to make it really nice looking is going to be very hard. And if it gets a bad studio, this anime would be very bad, because it really needs, like, I wouldn't say like a Mappa or a Ufotable, but it needs something like a PA Works or a Cloverworks or something like that, a very good studio. Even like A1 Pictures. A1 Pictures is amazing. They're doing a great job with Solo Leveling right now. They would do great with this, but like, I mean, like, they need a good studio. So I would say Full Night. I love this manga so far. I'm on volume 2. I need to read volume 3, and I have volume 4 coming in soon. So I need to read more, but I've been loving it so far, and I definitely think that this deserves an anime. Next up is a series that I've talked about before, and it is one of my favorite mangas of all time. And it doesn't have an anime, but I feel like that's because another work by this creator got an anime, and it bombed, even though it was his best work. That's going to be Happiness. I feel like this is the most Shuzo Oshimi work that would work in an anime. This manga is definitely like the most easy to grasp and less controversial out of all the Shuzo Oshimi works, and it deals with less of the crazier themes that he usually delves into. So I feel like it can really work with an anime. And he also said himself that this is the manga that he tried working with a big cast of characters, and it really did work, and he really did a great job building a bigger cast of characters than usually like his normal like 3 or 4 characters he usually has per series that are really major. He has like 5 to 6 to 7 in this series, and I think that's a really, really easy to get into anime and manga, where it has a kind of bigger group that's very well put together and very well delved into. It does have some moments that are kind of crazy, but if you know nothing about this, basically we follow this kid named Okazaki, and he is just your average run-of-the-mill nerd who's going to high school with only one friend. Until one day he goes to return a CD, and he's attacked by a vampire, and that vampire bites him, and he soon becomes one. After going into a coma for a couple days, he learns that he is thirsty, but not for water, for blood. And that's where it starts. Okazaki starts getting these vampire powers and starts changing. And a lot of people start noticing a little bit of a change, and they're kind of intrigued with this character. And that is basically the little bit of a concept of Happiness. I don't want to go too into it, because I'm telling you right now, with any Shuzo Oshimi work, really, you should probably buy the whole series before you actually start reading it. Because I read all 10 volumes of Happiness my first time reading it in about 2.5, 3 hours. He doesn't use words to really convey a story. He just uses his art to convey the story. So that's one thing that I also think would kind of make it hard to animate, is that there isn't much dialogue in any of his works. And I think that's why many of his works haven't gotten animes, even though he is a bigger creator. It's because it's more art focused. And because it's more art focused, they can't kind of, it just goes quicker in an anime, because they would have to add a bunch of stuff to make it so it actually can fit anime length, because there's no one talking, really. It's very little dialogue, and the dialogue is great, mostly in Flowers of Evil, which is the only one that he has that has an anime. It is great, but the thing is, it's just there's not much. Like, I can flip through this and you will barely see words. Like, it's crazy. It's all art focused, and that's something that I feel like is really intriguing, why I love Shuzo Oshimi so much. But yeah, I've read this multiple times. Literally, I've read Happiness maybe 3 or 4 times, and it takes me like 2 hours at max to read all 10 volumes. So I think it could really work in like a 8 episode to 10 episode kind of like OVA kind of thing, but it's going to be kind of rough. But I definitely think Happiness would be great as an anime if they do it right and get the right studio. The next 2 I'm going to be talking about, I feel like have to get animes at some point in the future. Like, it's not, oh, maybe, it's more about when will they. The first one I want to talk about, I already talked about in a more recent video, the most underrated manga ever. If you haven't checked that out, card's gonna be right here. But that's gonna be Marriage Toxin. This manga is one of the best newer gen manga that I've read. It's not close. I love Marriage Toxin. It is such a interesting concept and such a greatly written story with such phenomenal art. And the comedy hits. I really love the characters too. Basically, we follow this guy, Hikaru Garo, and he is a poison master. This world is full of assassins, and each assassin kind of has their own abilities, like a water master, a ground master, stuff like that. And he is a poison master, one of the 5 great families. And he has to become the next heir, because it's only him and his sister. And his sister is a lesbian, so he's the only one that can really continue the actual family. But he doesn't see a point in love as an assassin. He doesn't see a point in getting a girlfriend as an assassin. So, one day, his sister decides that she will become the heir and break up with her girlfriend and kind of let go of her own life so she can focus on the family. And Garo puts aside his selfish ways and tells his sister, do not do that. He's going to find somebody. Whether she likes it or not, he's going to be the next head of the family and make the next heir of the Poison Master family. And that's basically Marriage Toxin. And it's just him kind of just trying to have a hero complex and save a bunch of women. But it's very good. I love the comedy. The art's phenomenal. And the most recent arc that we're on in English Physicals is amazing. I actually love it. It's probably one of my favorite arcs in recent shonen that I've read. If you want to see some of the art, this is just volume 1, so I don't think it's that much of spoilers. It's really good. It's really good. I love the art. It is kind of wordy, so if you don't really love wordy series, it's kind of wordy, but it's not enough where it should deter you. I think if you think that concept is interesting, definitely check this out. It has 5 volumes out in English right now. I think volume 6 comes out in a couple months, if I'm not mistaken. I think it comes out in June or May. So try to get on it as soon as possible, because there is, I think, 13 or 12 volumes in Japanese right now. And that's only going to keep growing. So, yeah. But Marriage Toxin, amazing. Highly recommend it. And I also think this is definitely getting an anime very soon, because it is popular. It's kind of a perfect anime format manga, so it's bound to get one. It's just bound to get one. Now, this last one is literally bound to get one. There's no way that this series just doesn't get an anime, and it's purely because the creator's huge, and this manga sells like hotcakes. Like, it's crazy, and that's going to be Chojin X. By the creator of Tokyo Ghoul, Suiyashida. The art's amazing. It's bound to get an anime. It truthfully is. I feel like in the next year or two, we're probably going to be getting an announcement, because there is definitely enough content for an anime, and even if they want to do a 24-episode anime, there's enough content there. This series has amazing art. I've read volume 1. I need to read more, but this is just bound to get one. It just needs one too, because I feel like a lot of people are waiting on this one, because there's so many Tokyo Ghoul fans out there. And once they hear about this, they're going to be like, okay, I need to watch this now, because it's by Suiyashida and I love Tokyo Ghoul. But basically, if we follow this kid, it's kind of the same concept as Tokyo Ghoul, really. Truthfully, it basically is a Tokyo Ghoul clone. We follow Tokyo, spelled with an I, not a Y, actually. And he's in a world of Chojin, people with powers. And so he gets touched by a Chojin, and when you get touched by a Chojin, you become one, so he gets powers, and he's trying to hide them from people that he cares about and people in the world that he doesn't want to hurt. And his powers is basically to turn into like a half human, half bird. So, like I said, it's very reminiscent to Tokyo Ghoul in how it goes about it. He is a outcast of society because he's part of this group of people that is not really looked at from humans as good, but truthfully, not all of them are bad. Like, it is very much Tokyo Ghoul reminiscent. So if you like Tokyo Ghoul, you're bound to like Chojin X. Truthfully, it's very Tokyo Ghoul coded. And of course, the art's great. And so far, I really enjoy it. I really like the MC. If you like Suiyashida's art, I mean, you can't go wrong. This guy's art is like absolutely insane. And so, like, yeah, I've heard only amazing things too. I hear it just gets better and better and better and better. So I just can't wait to read more. I only have volumes 1 through 3, and I've only read volume 1. I know. I need to get on it, but I'm definitely gonna read way more, because this is probably the next thing I read after Law of Ueki, which is right here, and you're probably gonna see a video about that soon. But yeah, Chojin X, amazing. Definitely needs an anime, and it definitely will in like the next year. I don't see it going past 2026 without an anime. Truthfully, I think it probably gets one maybe spring of 2026. That's my guess. I think another year. Quote me on that. I bet it will. I actually bet it will. But yeah, that's all the manga I want to talk about today that need anime. Like I said earlier, leave a comment down below about some manga that you've read that you think need anime or will be getting anime in the near future. But that should be it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace!